Yeah. Make sure a couple of mic like some more big.
Yeah. No, I was just checking. I was just checking that.
Yeah, so keep it on like your left side.
This way. Okay, wait.
I know this. It's an ongoing problem.
It's all good. Like that, maybe.
Check. No beard, Russell.
Yeah.
Okay. Brothers and sisters, this is really an honor for me. I mean, I believe that this group is definitely much more than a music genre. They represent a movement, which I truly respect and cherish, really. We got with us Tribe Called Red. Big up.
Thank you.
Salam alaikum, we say. How are you guys? You good?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been chilling in Abu Dhabi now for a couple days.
First time in the Middle East? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How's it been so far?
Amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really had no idea what to expect, and things have been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you, and shout out to NYUAD really for bringing you. They always bring the best artists, and it's like a lot of culture element into it. So I want to get straight into it. I know you guys have sound check right now, so I want to get used to the time. How did the Tribe Called Red, idea form? Like, well, you've been performing for 7-8 years, if I'm correct?
Yeah, about 8 years or 9 years now.
Yeah.
It started as a club night in Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah. So 4 of us, all Indigenous DJs, got together. We all knew each other in the scene, but weren't really doing anything together. And
what made you click?
Well, I mean, it was literally that simple. We're all native DJs working in Ottawa. Just a bunch of hard-working club, bar night DJs. And decided to come together. Just, we recognized that we're a bunch of Indigenous people. And I was like, oh yeah, why didn't we ever connect? Besides like, hey, that guy's playing tonight, So we decided to throw this party, called it the Electric Powwow. And the only real difference between any other night we did was that we advertised at the Native Students Association on campus and around the Native Friendship Center. Just places we knew the community would see the posters. And right from the first night, it was sold out.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely packed house. Majority of the people were from the community. And the reaction that we got from people afterwards was that you've created this space, this safe space in the city for Indigenous people to gather, for Indigenous people to have a good time, which is a really hard thing to find in the city most of the time.
Yeah.
And that was something we had to continue. That was something the community wanted.
It's very interesting. Were you guys seen as a political movement in that moment?
Not in that moment.
Okay.
It was after that we got the political part, because people asked us to continue doing it. So we made it a monthly party. Apparently, when you throw a monthly party for Indigenous people in the city, that's a political move.
Yeah. What did you think about that? Because for me, I mean, okay, look, I come from Saudi Arabia, one of the most conservative countries in the world. But at the same time, I've hosted and launched Saudi's first FM hip-hop radio show. And for me, always towards changing the perception people have about hip-hop, because they think it's only bad words or handshaking or like hand gestures, and it's not that, obviously. So in your case, when you were politicized or politics, how'd you take that?
As a responsibility.
Yeah.
It was kind of, at first we're like, oh, well, we just want to throw parties.
Yeah.
And now we're getting put in this position, but we saw it as a responsibility to our community that we were getting any kind of attention, had to use it in a positive way.
It's amazing because, the hip hop first started like that on the block, like 1520, like it was like that kind of movement when DJ Kool Herc, played. For his sister. So when we talk about Indigenous people, guys, like what is the main misconception that people, talk to you about? What is it? I heard you say it in a lot of your interviews mainly, where there is a certain stereotype about, Indigenous people. And obviously, I don't fall into that, but maybe other people might fall into that. But how do you explain?
Well, it's the thing about Tribe is that one of the main goals we shoot for is representation in our music. And and we can show face and this is how we are, this is what kind of music we do, and it also like in the process smashes the misconceptions of us. And we've been depicted as like all types of things, and we were never really in charge of our image. So like whether it was
someone else would always talk about you guys.
And film,
which is
in pictures.
But that's why I'm a big fan. Like my main man, Narcy, told me about you guys, obviously, and ever since I became a huge fan. Because there's also a huge misconception about Arabs in the West. I don't know if it's similar, but there's a lot of, we have a lot of amazing things happening in Arabia, but what picked up on the CNNs and the BBCs are the rah, 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 all that stuff. But we're not like that all the time, So for me, I'm very interested to know, when you guys were growing up, did you feel that as Indigenous DJs that you will be part of this movement to change perceptions of how your culture is viewed?
I always wanted to.
Yeah, it was always something.
Okay.
It was always something in the mind to like, I want to do this because I want to change the way that I'm looked at, or our people are looked at. It was always like that. Yeah.
Oh man.
I had no idea that it would happen through DJ. You know, like I come from a very political family, family of activists and artists who have all, you know, put their activism into their artwork.
But don't you think what you're doing is also an activism? You're an activist right now, in a way.
In a way,
through music, through DJing. Obviously, you're here in Abu Dhabi to perform in NYUAD. I really want you to tell us how did this conversation really start? And big up to NYUAD for getting you in. And when you first got the request, how excited were you guys to perform in Abu Dhabi?
Oh, super excited.
Yeah.
But you know, the question came up right away because we always have to think about how we're spending our time.
Yes.
Who's seeing us perform?
Of course.
Why are we doing this? You know? And one of the main reasons that I wanted to come was that, you know, you look at like the kind of groups that get to explore the world, you know, they're always your kind of average white rock band. You know, and for a group of native DJs to come out here,
big up,
is just, it's an unheard of experience.
Oh, it is, especially in the UAE, fam, because it's a melting pot.
Yeah.
Like, especially Abu Dhabi, Dubai. There's a lot of people, you know, from all different kind of nationalities, religions. So it's really perfect. And I do a lot of these buckle up shows, but you know, I'm obviously a big fan right now. So I'm fan struck, and I'm a huge respect to you guys. At the same time, I want the people to experience what you guys, you know, bring. Which brings me to my next question. In terms of your live performances, what can people expect?
I mean, it's a really multi-layered show. You know, we
a lot of dancing.
Yeah, we have our dancers, Creation and Lunacy, who hold it down.
Big up.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. They do exactly what we do with our music and dance.
Wow.
You know, they grew up break dancing, but they also are traditional dancers. So they really like melding those two worlds in the same way. And then on top of that, there's the video. I do live VJing, taking exactly those stereotypes, those misconceptions and misrepresentations of Indigenous people, and throwing them up into my blender and throwing them back up on the screen. I mean, I make them, they're fun, you can laugh at them, but they're also a part where you're being confronted by these images in a space where you're not necessarily expecting it.
Yeah, wow. Is your commercial success, in a way, like right now, you're like mainstream, not mainstream, I mean, a lot of people know about you guys. How did that feel when you guys were able to accomplish that?
Oh, wow.
And big up to you guys, like your work ethic is so dope. And I mean, when I say that, I come from the perspective, there's a lot of artists out there, amazing artists, DJs, producers, that don't get that kind of, you know, light. Yeah. And as we're entering the tunnel right now, it said light. But I mean, it's just a matter of, sometimes people don't have the patience to continue. You guys had the patience, the talent to break through, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? We didn't do this before for the commercial appeal of it.
Thank you.
You know, it just kind of just happened. And like, I remember, you know, I'm not an original member of the group. I joined about 4.5 years ago now. And then so my first experience watching a tribe show was that this is super important. I mean, I'm looking at the crowd full of brown people out there, all the Indigenous people of that area, and their eyes were lighting up. And then I realized that, you know, everything that's being played right now is for me and it's for us. You know, like it was, that's what it was always for. So the fact that it kind of went in a commercial way is a complete surprise. And
but that's helpful, no? It's helpful to put the culture out there.
Totally.
But now it gives us an opportunity to represent ourselves in a huger platform now. So, you know, like we're definitely going to show up. Yeah, we're going to show up, you know, and we're going to show out, and, you know, and it puts a little bit of pressure on us as far as like, you know, like we take ourselves super serious in the studio to like, you know, create the best music possible when it comes to collaborating with people, to you know, to pick out the best collaborators. But and all in all, you know, like the main goal is you know, we're making music for Indigenous people, and we're here to represent ourselves.
Nice.
What's really exciting is that we've been able to, you know, achieve this certain amount of success without compromising.
Wow. I always love that.
Nobody has ever said, don't say that. You know, if you were a little less political, you might, you know, sell some more records or something.
I've heard in a couple of interviews that you had one show in Norway. Which was one of the best because it was an Indigenous festival. Yeah. Also, like, not a lot of people showed up, or there was not a lot of people, but it was really important to you guys. Why? Because it was Indigenous festival.
Yeah, everybody in the crowd was Indigenous, and from all over. But it's just like, you know, like we were having a hard time because we were traveling through France and in Europe, and it's really hard to like go through these countries and that are not really progressed as far as like being I guess I don't know how to explain it, but just, you know, they're a little racist, you know what I mean? So they're a little harsh.
Which was very important at that point to have this kind of festival.
Well, yeah, because when we got there, we were drained out. We were a little upset, and then we were kind of cranky of all this stuff. And then we get there, and we're surrounded by indigenous people from all over the world.
That must felt like
a total recharge.
Oh yeah, no,
this gave me goosebumps just talking about it. Because, yeah, a couple more questions for you guys. Would you? I mean, you've obviously collaborated with Narcy, who's an amazing, like really one of my amazing artists, someone who's really mad talented and smart. Are you thinking of collaborating with another maybe Arab, you know, hip hop artist or an artist in general? Is that something that we can explore?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, we're always interested in finding new artists to work with.
Nice.
And, you know, Narcy and, you know, kind of his whole crew there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Amazing artists. So that's I mean, definitely a possibility.
I work in radio. Is radio play as important as before? Obviously with the digital revolution right now, or no?
Yeah, no, I think still radio. We do a fair amount of radio, and like, you know,
it's important to get played on the radio.
I think it's important to be able to represent anywhere we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, since we never had that opportunity for so long, it's like,
and taking space in like really popular places or something that anybody could pick up is something that, you know, that kind of needs to happen for indigenous people anyways.
Because it's that thing of just being able to turn on the radio or turn on the TV and not be looking for an indigenous face and see one.
Oh wow.
Like that's a game changer for any young indigenous person growing up right now, because we didn't have that growing up.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like how I even started making music, I heard an indigenous hip hop group from my community on the local radio.
What are they called?
And they were called True Res back in the day.
Oh, okay.
And the moment that I heard it, I immediately, like, I went on a search to figure out how to make beats. So without these little things that trigger things, and who knows how far and ripple effect that will go.
And now you're inspiring other people, obviously.
I think so. I hope so.
Tribe Called Red, man. Wow. You guys, you know, a blessings to have met you. You know, I wish I can have like 1 full hour with you, but you know, you got to do your sound check. And any last words you'd like to say for our amazing, you know, audience?
Yeah, you know, just thank you so much for having us on here, and this is dope for sure.
And if I can have one shout out Narcy.
Yeah,
I know Narcy's been sitting on this thing a little bit, but like we love that guy.
Yeah, Yassine, man. Your song with him and Yassine Bey, man. What a track.
That's still
the
one of my
RED
favorite
is
projects.
And Silla, man. Can we talk about Silla a little bit?
Definitely.
Yeah.
What a beautiful track.
Oh, thank you.
Incredible track. So this track happened by an accident, you were telling me? Or like not accident, how it had a different ending?
Yeah.
It had a different whole sound to it.
Okay.
Like it was a really happy kind of like bouncy song, and you know, in the whole We Are the Hallucination album, it's a very serious album, so it didn't really fit the premise of it, and we were actually at risk of losing the song because of album cuts and stuff. But as we were working through it, you know, like we took one last stab at it. So we removed everything from the song except for the vocals.
Nice.
And we got lost for like 6 hours and came out with that song. And that's basically what happened.
Tanya?
Yeah, Tanya Tagak.
Yeah.
Who's a phenomenal musician in Canada. Man. A force, really.
Yes. I mean, I was listening to it and I was telling Azarel, like, wow, this is powerful. I'm just thinking, I had one question in mind I really wanted to ask you guys. In terms of when it comes to responsibility, like the fact that you're now being labeled as somehow a representation of what indigenous, does that pressure you in any way, or you just want to do music?
I mean, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a pressure, but like I said, we look at it as a responsibility. That we would be irresponsible not to represent the way we do.
So do you think that if an artist has a platform to make a change, that it's his duty to do though?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you come from a community that hasn't had a voice, a community that hasn't been able to represent itself, that's really, you know, and I think that's the difference, I think, between your average mainstream white group and the rest of us.
True.
Is that, like, those guys don't have to say anything. And then that's what makes it boring.
I agree, 100%.
And I love music and art made by indigenous people, made by people of color, made by brown people.
Yeah, it's
because we have to say something.
Yeah.
We have to say something.
It's amazing. I love your passion, you guys, and I want to welcome you to Buckle Up. This episode is going to be out hopefully soon.
Have us anytime, man.
Yeah, man,
this was awesome. This is one of the best interviews ever.
I really wish I have really more hours with you guys.
I wish we had more time too.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, I just wanted to quickly say a big shout out to the NYUAD Art Center, Bill Braggett and his team, Alana, and everyone else involved. They are doing amazing things for the community, for the culture, and really big up to them. They helped me secure this amazing interview with a Tribe Called Red, and overall, they're just incredible people. So a big salute to the NYUAD Art Center team. Peace and love. Enjoy the buckle up. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Peace.